ﷺ, he loved to go up to the mountain of, go up into the cave of Hira and contemplate the situation that his people and humanity was in, and the vices that were happening, and so on. And on that mountain, the Prophet ﷺ, you can imagine the fear that comes to a person when you're just alone in a cave on the top of a mountain, and then a man appears. And so he's on, and then the man is telling him to read. And so the Prophet ﷺ said to him, he said, I can't read. And a lot of people forget this part about that story, and many of you are familiar with it. Jibreel alayhi salam, Angel Jibreel, he grabbed the Prophet ﷺ and he squeezed him. And he pressed him so hard. So not only the fear of seeing that person there, but he pressed him so hard until the Prophet ﷺ said, I felt I was going to die. And then he let go of him. And then he said, read. And the Prophet ﷺ said, I can't read. And then he squeezed him again until the Prophet ﷺ said that I felt I was going to die. And then he said to him, read. He said, I can't read. And then he pressed him again until he felt he was going to die. And then Jibreel alayhi salam told him, اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم. And so the Prophet ﷺ, as he was walking away, and he saw Jibreel in this stance, in another point afterwards, he saw Jibreel in his original creation, covering the entire horizon. Nobody saw Jibreel, but the Prophet ﷺ saw him. And so he came home frightened. And his wife Khadija, she said, what's wrong? And he said, just cover me up. And he was shaking. He said, Zammiluni, Zammiluni. He said, just cover me up. The Prophet ﷺ was so scared about what had taken place. And in fact, after that, Khadija radiallahu anha, you'll see in the seerah, she said, Allah would never do this to you. Allah would never disgrace you or humiliate you, because you fulfill the ties of kinship. You're good to the orphans. If anybody needs help, you're the one who helps them. You feed them, you take care of them. You will never be humiliated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after that, revelation discontinued. You will see that for many months, Jibreel didn't come back until he felt that Allah was angry with him. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed one of the first surahs to be revealed amongst after Surah Iqra. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed Surah Al-Duha. وَالضُّحَى وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا سَجَى مَا وَدَّعَكَ رَبُّكَ وَمَا قَلَى. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by the daybreak that He hasn't abandoned you and He's not angry with you. And so it's a preparation to prepare the Prophet ﷺ for the enormous tests that are about to come.
القلب إخلاصا وصرت تحوم كالطير تحلق في ثقافات وتنهل من ربى الخير.